Hey Commune fam, it's Patrick. Welcome to Full Practice. For today's session, all you need is yourself in your practice space. When you're ready, let's begin in Child's Pose. Go ahead and spread your knees nice and wide apart. Sit your hips back towards your heels. Take a moment to gather, to ground, to connect. Lean into the space of this moment. Lean into your breath. Give yourself this moment to tune in first. Start to lay lines for communication between you and yourself, between mind and body, letting the breath be the vessel for that connection. On your inhale, pull forward onto hands and knees. Keep your right knee where it is, though, and swing your left foot out wide. And then circle through your hips here as you circle your shoulders over your wrists. And your left leg can stay straight if you want. It can also be bent. You can just kind of mosey into some different space here. After you feel like you warm up that line of energy, anchor through the outer edge of your left foot. Inhale, reach your left arm up to the sky. Create as much space as possible there. And on your exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right armpit. Maybe your left elbow lands, maybe your left shoulder lands. Either way, take your right hand towards the top right corner of the mat to subtly push, peeling your chest open. Return to center. Push your hands into the floor, lift your left foot off the ground, and then step your left foot just to the outside of your left hand. Pivot your hips to face the top right corner of the mat, and then sink your left knee towards your left big toe, and just pulse here a few times. Just kind of working through this range. Adjust it as you need to. The line that I'm kind of working on here is big toe pointing towards top corner of mat, right knee pointing a bit diagonal out, what would be towards somewhere between 2 and 3 o'clock for me. Find your deepest position, just sit into it for a moment. And then return to center and prepare to switch sides. So your left knee swings out towards a child's pose-like position, and your right foot swings out to the right side in some capacity. As you get there, circle around. Again, your right leg can stay straight, your right knee can be bent. So notice how here you're getting into the wrists and the hips, just playing some different lines of movement and energy. Waking up your body just in a different way. Not making anything overly complicated. Starting this practice off with feeling before we lean into focus. Return to center here. Straighten your right leg out. Anchor through the outer edge of your right foot. Press into your left hand. Inhale, twist and reach your right hand up to the sky. On your exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left armpit. Again, maybe your right elbow lands, maybe it's your right shoulder. Scoot your left hand up towards that top left corner of the mat and just push down a little bit. And breathe into your left rib cage, left side body. Again, here, of course, you're looking for space, but you're really just looking for sensation, looking for feeling, trying to tune in. Slowly return to center. Root both hands into the floor. Lean left so you can pluck your right foot off the ground and then step your right foot just to the outside of your right hands. Lift up so you're on your right foot and left knee, left shin, and then just pulse into your right hip a few times. And really you're working into your groin, creating some space. A few more pulses here. Try to get active, especially in your right glute. And sink down to your deepest spot. Lift through your lower belly. Hold here, nice, strong, steady, supported. And then return. Place your hands on the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. Bend the knees, walk things out just a little bit. Feel some space in your shoulders and really a lot of space in your hips here. So now you can use subtle movements, anterior, posterior pelvic tilt to change your orientation, to help you access new areas in the body. On your next inhale, wave forwards into plank pose. And on your exhale, roll back to dog. Roll forwards into plank pose. And exhale, wave back into dog. 2 more times mindfully. Inhale, roll forwards into plank. Exhale, wave back into dog. This time as you roll forwards into plank, roll to the outer edge of right foot, inner edge of left foot, and just hold here for a moment. Roll your hips back to the sky, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank again, outer edge of left foot, inner edge of right foot. Holding for a moment, rolling back to dog. Drop your forearms to the floor, but stay long. In fact, try to walk your feet back in space. Push your hands into the floor, lift your elbows, extended plank. If you would like, take your hands a little bit further forward. Activate your glutes, engage your core, lengthen your collarbones out just a bit. Be here steady, strong, stable, and supported for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Walk your hands in or your feet in. Find your plank pose. And then roll back to down dog. Inhale, your right leg is up to the sky. On your exhale, right foot lands in between your hands. Hop onto your fingertips as you roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Pull your right knee wide and lift your chest and hand. Exhale, drop your right big toe down. Push your hips up and back in space. Bend your right knee, roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Lift your heart. Drop your right big toe down. Push your hips up and back. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Pull the right knee wide as you lift the chest. Right big toe drops down, hips push back in space. Roll to outer edge of right foot, lift your chest. Straighten your right leg, push your hips back in space. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot here. Plant your left hand, roll to the outer edge of your left foot, scoop and reach your right hand up to the sky. Move through these lines of tension. Thread your right arm underneath your left wide leg. Forward fold. Lean a little forwards, lean a little backwards. And starting this practice off very deliberately. Plant your hands on the floor, somewhere in front of your shoulders. Root your palms down. Rise onto the tips of your toes. Drive into your left hand. Reach your right hand towards the front of the mat. Bring your left knee onto your left tricep. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, your left foot steps back. Your right hand plants. Your left hand lifts. Your right knee finds right tricep. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, your right foot steps back to the top of the mat. Your left hand lands. Walk your hands towards your front right foot. Sink down and into a deep low lunge. Your left knee lands. See if you can drop your forearms to the floor, even if your back rounds today. Move away from the need for it to be functionally perfect or even aesthetically perfect and just see what it's like to ground your forearms. Find that root, find that ability to connect. Giving us the opportunity to understand and feel that something doesn't have to be perfect for us to explore it. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Place your palms down flat. Lift your left knee off the ground. Lift your right foot off the ground. Drop your left heel down and reach your left arm up to the sky. Place your left hand back on the ground. Three-legged dog. Right foot steps over and behind your left knee. Bend your knees, drive your hips up towards the sky, roll through the spine to open up space. Reach through your right hand as you dig your heels into the floor. And then sit back towards your heels. Lunge your right hand towards the top of the mat. The right knee follows as it comes onto the right tricep. Reach your left hand forward. Feel the flows. Feel the connection. Plant your left hand on the floor and take your right ankle above your left knee, sitting your hips back in space. Walk your hands back to your left foot. Half chair pose. You can organize the spine up right first. It's a wonderful thing to do. But then as you get comfortable there, try to make sure your left knee's tracking over your left big toe. It's going to want to wing out to the side. And see if you can just fold down a little bit more. And folding down may actually mean lifting your tailbone up. Rise to stand. Pull your right knee into your chest as you bend the left knee. Lean your shoulders back. Reach your hands towards the ground behind you. Straighten your right foot out in front of you. Slowly reach the right foot towards the top of the mat as if it's going to actually touch there. Eventually, your right foot lands somewhere on the mat. Transfer weight, bend your knee, crouching warrior. Lift your left leg up. Bring hands to heart center. Hold space. Keep your right knee this bent. Place your hands on the floor for a handstand or rise onto the tip of your right big toe. So you're in a 3-point position or a 2-point position. Whatever feels good to you. Either way, you're there for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Everybody takes the left knee and puts it to the outside of the right ankle as the right heel grounds. Sit all the way down to the floor. Inhale, reach your left arm up to the sky. Twist left elbow to outside of right leg. Right hand plants behind you. Push to elevate here. If you need more, or you want easier starting position maybe, cradle your right knee and see if you can really ground your right hip. That may help you feel just a little bit more of the work. Sometimes the aesthetics of the shape that we see actually take us out of the depth we can find in the posture if we work with our own puzzle pieces. Unwind, root into your right big toe. As you push onto your left shin, find your way back into crouching warrior. Hands to the floor, 3-legged dog, your right leg lifts. Bend your left knee and your elbows. Pull yourself through into upward facing dog. Exhale, wave back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up to the sky. On your exhale, left foot steps in between your hands. As it does, hop onto the fingertips, pull your chest out. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot as you pull your left knee wide. And then drop your left big toe down, straighten your leg, push your hips back. Roll to outer edge of left foot. Try to take your left knee to the floor if you can. And then straighten your left leg, big toe grounds, hips push back in space. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Really try to activate your glute to make that possible. Return to center, straighten both legs in some capacity. Roll to the outer edge of left foot, pull left knee wider, lift heart up. Left big toe drops down, push your hips back in space. Roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Dig your left knee wider, plant your right hand down, roll to the outer edge of both feet. Inhale, reach your left arm way overhead. Breathe into the extended space in your side body. Allow for the opening. Try to tune into what your outer edge of your right foot is doing. And then thread your left arm underneath your right armpit as you come across, wide leg forward fold. Just as we did on the first side, sway a little forwards and a little backwards. Feel what it's like to ground your heels. Feel what it's like to dig into your toes, into the mat, into your practice space. And then plant your hands, dig into your toes more. Lift your heels. Right hand stretches towards back of mat. Left knee finds left tricep. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left foot steps back. Try to keep the heels lifted. Right hand plants. Left hand reaches forward. Right knee on right tricep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right foot steps back. Right foot lands. Left hand lands. Outer edges of feet plant. Sink into the wide leg forward fold. And then walk your hands forward towards your front left foot. Dig in deep here, drop your right knee to the floor, and if you can, drop your forearms down. It's always easiest to drop left forearm first. The fit is natural. If you drop the right forearm first, it may be harder to land the left. Either way, snuggle into this space. Somewhere you're working through tension, whether that's in your left hip, whether that's in your back body. Each moment matters here, so tune into it. Snuggle into this space. Be here for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, hands come down, plant them firmly. Lift your right knee off the ground. Drop your right heel down as you lift your right hand up. Left knee scoops into the chest. Reach your right hand towards the sky even more. Plant your right hand down. Left leg stretches way up and back. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Feel all the different points of pivot. Set your left foot down lightly. So every space we go so far, it's like you're really digging into your current ranges of motion. It's as if nothing right now is inherently efficient. Everything is really trying to scoop the bottom of the ice cream carton, if you will. The bottom of your peanut butter, your almond butter jar. It's like you're trying to make sure that you have enough for that piece of toast. On your exhale, close everything off. Sit back towards your heels, your left hand plants. Your left knee hunts your left tricep as your right hand gets light on the ground. Floats anywhere. Holding here, finding your strength, finding your support. Plant your right hand, left ankle comes above right knee. Sit your hips back in space. Really try to dig here for a moment. Walk your hands back to your right foot. Sit down just a little bit more into the half chair pose, and then rise out of it. Adjust your hips as needed, wiggle around as it serves you, essentially. And then do your very best to sit your hips back, or lift your tailbone up, or fold forward. All those cues are really the same thing, but the way that information lands in your body will be unique. Inhale to rise, left knee pulls into chest. Feel as though there's little weights on your shoulders lifting your heart. Bend your right knee slightly, and then kick your left foot forward, left leg fully straight, leaning out. Left foot lands somewhere towards the top of the mat. Bend your left knee, feel the subtle transfer of weight as you lift your right foot up, crouching, warrior. Leaning into it, lift your chest. Let your hands find heart center as you stretch back through your right heel. The moment for handstand is here, or 3-point position, so your left knee stays this bent. You rise onto your left big toe, or you press, you hop, you elevate into handstand. Wherever you're choosing to go, just let the work be available, right? Find the range for you. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, your left foot lands. Your right knee chases the space to the outside of your left ankle as the heel drops. Sit down nice and low, snuggle into space. Of course, the twist is natural. You've seen it before in your own practice and in photo. So it's easy to visualize right elbow to outside of left leg and left hand planting down. But I can't stress this enough. This snuggle has helped me so much with this position, and oftentimes I even take it just because I feel my left femur really in the hip socket here. And I find such a nice sensation from working through this space. So don't feel that the aesthetic is somehow creating your experience. You're creating your experience by showing up for what's there in your body. Inhale, return to center. Root your left big toe down. Rise onto your right shin. Crouching warrior, your back to it. Lift your right leg up as you lift your heart. Dig your left big toe into the floor just a little bit more, holding space. And then hands to the ground. Right foot to back of mat, 3-legged dog, left leg lifts. Bend elbows and right knee, pull yourself forward into upward facing dog. Hold it here for a full breath. Organize the shoulders, chest, front body as much as you can. Exhale, wave back, downward, facing dog. 2 awakening A's for flow, 7 count to get to the top of the mat. Lift heels, bend knees. Journey forwards for 7, 6. Maybe you play with active squat into straddle if you're floating in the sky. 4, 3, 2, on 1. Active squat, find your home. Sit your hips low, reach your hands forward. Exhale, straighten legs, hands to heart. Inhale, reach hands up to sky. Exhale, sit your hips down, deep snuggle in. Inhale, hands to floor, elbows bent. Double up the push-up as you vinyasa. Add 2. See if you can do it on 1 exhale. Then the knees and forearms drop, and naturally you'll have a hunger for the inhale to pull you into upward facing dog. Exhale whips you back downward. Facing dog, push into the palms, look forward. 10 count, feet to outside of hands. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Feet land, active squat. If you were there at first, it just means you get to be an active squat longer. More grounding is nice. Exhale, straighten legs, hands to heart. Inhale, reach hands up to sky. Exhale, sit your hips down. Inhale, hands to floor, elbows bent. Double push-up on the vinyasa. Just add in that little bonus. Try to make it on one breath, one exhale. Then the inhale gets hungry for the upward facing. And the exhale takes you back downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg lifts. On the exhale, right foot in between your hands. Hop onto your fingertips. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Lift your chest. Dig the outer edge of the foot down here. Keep your right knee wide. Hold. This can be enough. Or maybe you float more fingers off the ground. Or even maybe you float all of your hands off the ground. Here for 3. For 2. On 1. Right hand plants. Left hand supports you. Left heel drops, right knee lifts, dig it into the chest. Kick your right leg out. Drop your right heel down, sit your hips to the floor. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold and reach your hands as far out in front of you as possible. Holding here, don't let your hands touch the floor. Keep them reaching. Keep them reaching. Try to grab something that's out in front of you. Reach, 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 reach. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold back down, reach, 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 reach. Hold this reach or straddle, stand up. Hands come in between legs, rising to stand, pushing hips up, sitting back down. For all of our reachers out there, stay with it. Hip sit to the floor. Wonderful. Right hand to the top of the mat, left heel drops, right knee, right tricep. Pigeon pose. Let your right shin land. Let your heart elevate. Fold down for just a moment. Find your depth. And then squeeze your shoulder blades together so you're in your longest possible spine. Fingertips can be on the floor or not. Option to float your hands here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands plants. 3-legged dog. Right leg lifts. Stretching through your right foot, take an inhale here. On your exhale, your right foot is going to land sideways in between your hands. So that can be with a step or a jump switch. You're going to find your way into wide leg forward fold, facing the left side of your mat. Inhale here to elevate. Exhale to sink into the stretch. Again, if you want another straddle stand up, by all means, sit back first, and then elevate back out. Wonderful. Everybody plant your hands on the floor. Straighten your arms, rise onto the tips of your toes. Option to float the feet if you can for 5, 4. Try to keep the feet low if they float. 3, 2, 1. Feet land. Walk your hands towards your front right foot, thank goodness. Left knee drops down. Forearms find the floor. For any of you working that straddle lift off, or if you're working the press, and that straddle position is one where you're like trying to find the strength. Instead of going up, try to go forward with your feet and back with your chest. If your feet are in line with your fingertips, you will feel your core really working for you there. It's quite a nice sensation. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Dig your left foot into the floor. Right knee finds right tricep as left heel drops. Left arm elevates towards the sky. Scoop your right shoulder up and see if you can try to take your right knee or even your right foot to point towards the space above. Right knee finds right tricep. Left hand plant, stretch your right leg up and back. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot as you bend your left knee. Sit your hips all the way back to your heels. Drive through your heels. Reach your right arm way up and overhead. Dig your feet into the floor. Open space. Exhale, close. Everything off. Right hand lunges to the top of the mat. Right knee follows. Touches right tricep. Left hand reaches forward. Left hand lands right ankle above left knee. Push your hips back in space. Walk your hands back to your left foot. Sink your hips down and in. Half chair pose. Inhale, rise up. Right knee lifts, shoulders heavy, left knee bends. Right leg stretches forward. Lose your balance, laugh at yourself along the way. How far can you reach that right foot? Out, 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 out. Lands. It's always disappointing, the landing. I feel like I'm going to touch the space in front of my mat, crouching warrior. And I'm like, oh, I'm 2 feet away. Well, that's good. Your handstand or 3-point position. Right foot lands, crouching warrior. Sit with me on this one. It's going to be interesting. Left foot goes to the back of the mat. Big toe lands, followed by your other 4 toes. Outer edge of foot. Bend your left knee as you straighten your right leg. See if you can sit all the way down to pistol squat. Right foot lifts. Straighten your left leg. Good. Bend your left knee. Reach your right foot forward. We're going to try that 2 more times. Right foot lands. Lean out, crouching warrior. Hands plant. Handstand movement. Right foot lands. Crouching warrior. Left foot steps to the back of the mat. Each toe lands individually. Outer edge of foot. Heel, right leg straightens, left knee bends. Sit low. Use your hands to rise up, to stand if needed. Last round, bend your left knee, reach your right foot forward. Step that sucker out there. Land your heel. Lean out, crouching warrior. Handstand movement doesn't have to be floaty. It just has to be present, focused, engaged. Right foot lands. We're not there for long. Just a good time, not a long time. Left foot to the back of the mat, sitting towards your pistol squat. Feel that transition of weight. Know that this is prepping you perfectly to explore that range of motion. Rise up to stand. Right knee pulls into chest. Step your right foot towards the top of the mat any way you choose, crouching warrior. Left leg lifts. Left knee sits to the outside of your right ankle. Hips down to the floor. Snuggle with your right leg. Add the twist. Breathe into new space. Inhale, return to center. Rise onto your left shin. Push your right big toe down. Lift up, biggest possible circle, hurdling your left knee over a pretend fire hydrant. Straighten your left leg out in front of you. Swing it back, half moon. Bend your right knee. Left foot steps to the back of the mat. Warrior 2, inhale. Exhale, sink down and into the position. Open through your arms. Find the steadiness of space. Then your hands plant to the floor. 2 push-up vinyasa, all on one exhale. The pause, knees and forearms drop. The inhale, the hunger that pulls you forward, that creates your space. The exhale takes you back downward, facing dog. Inhale, your left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot lands in between your hands. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Pull your left knee wider as you rise onto your fingertips. You can hold here. This is plenty. Just stay active. You can lift more fingers. You can, of course, float everything. Organize yourself in space here for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Left hand plants, right heel drops, left knee lifts up into your chest, big squeeze. Kick your left foot over towards the top of the mat. Keep trying to kick it, kick it, kick it, kick it, kick it. Slowly sit your hips down to the floor. As they land, inhale, reach your hands up. And exhale, fold forward, but stay reaching out. Reach to something new. Find different space. Try to keep your legs peeling open here. Stay steady and consistent with the reach for 5, 4, you've got this. 3, 2, on 1. Inhale to rise. Get taller. Exhale, lean out and reach. Feel your hips shifting in space, even if it's subtle. If you want the straddle, stand up. Plant your hands down and elevate into it. Knock things over on the weights. It's part of the game sometimes. Sit all the way back down. If you stood, for all those of you reaching, stay with it. Hips land. Left hand plants to the top of the mat as you rise. Right heel drops down, left knee hunts and connects with left tricep. Left shin lands at the top of the mat. Pigeon pose. Find your home base here. Inhale, you're tall. Exhale, you fold down. Find the depth of the fold. And then begin to work the shape. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lengthen your spine. Float your hands off the ground if you choose. Full engagement of effort here for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, your hands plant. 3-legged dog. Your left leg lifts. It stretches up to the sky. Bend your right knee. Step or jump switch a left foot in between your hands. Only difference is you're going to try to swivel in the air so the left toes point right when they land. Wide leg forward fold. Kind of an interesting twist. Lean forwards and back here. Again, if you want another straddle, stand up to explore that range by all means. Sitting is a wonderful way to do it. And then rising back up. Plant your hands as you would for a handstand. Rise onto the tips of your toes. Hold here or lift the feet. Try to take toes in line with fingers for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Goodness gracious. Let those feet land and wiggle forward towards your front left foot. Right knee drops down. Let your forearms drop down to the floor. Scoot into something that's a little bit deeper. Drop down into something that's a bit more unique, especially for our active vinyasa style practices. How does this change the dynamic? Where do you feel the sensation? How can you breathe into space and time, but also into your physical body? Bring your hands back underneath. Push the palms down. Dig your right big toe into the floor. Left knee lifts, right heel drops. Left foot or left knee tries to reach up towards the ceiling here. Left knee finds left tricep. 3-legged dog. Your left leg lifts. Wheel over to the outer edge of your right foot. Really dig, scoop in extra space. As your left foot lands, bend your knees. And then use the pop, the push from your heels, from your toes, to wheel open new space. Use your ability to reach to help create something full, something digestible, something that's your own. On your exhale, close everything off. Your left knee hunts your left tricep as your left hand lunges forward. Right hand lifts off the ground at any moment. Find your focus, really lock in. And then let your right hand plant. Your left leg stretches up to the sky. Get just a little bit longer there. And then pull your left knee all the way back forward to your nose. Get more compression through your left side. And then take your left ankle above your right knee. Softly walk your hands back towards your right foot. Elevate yourself here, half chair pose. Work more on the foundation of your right leg than the depth of your left. Inhale, rise up, left knee into chest. Heavy shoulders, right knee bends, reach your left foot forward. Left foot lands towards the top of the mat. Feel the transfer of energy. Crouching warrior. Right leg lifts, left knee bends. Lean into your handstand. Remember, we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. Hit your spot and then land your left foot on the ground. Rise back into crouching warrior. Reach your right foot as far back as possible. Eventually, the right big toe lands, followed by the other four. Bend your right knee as your right heel drops. Straighten your left leg. Sit down low. Pistol squat. Left foot lands. Rise to stand. Lean your shoulders back in space. Left foot reaches forward. We have two more of these. Left foot lands. Lean out. Crouching warrior. Feel the distribution of weight as you lift your right leg up. Let it topple you right into a balanced handstand or handstand preparatory position. Again, nothing is rushed. Everything is at a pace that serves you. Let your left foot land. Find your way back into crouching warrior. The work is the same here. Right big toe, followed by other toes. Begin to straighten your left leg as you ground your right heel. Sit your hips back in space, depth of the pistol. Left foot lifts. Rise up to stand. Right knee bends, shoulders heavy, heart lifts. Last step forward here. Really reach for it. This challenging the ankle is setting you up for your pistol squat. Notice how each round gets easier. It's not because you're getting stronger. It's also because you're creating space to be strong. Handstand. Find your breath. Find the space to care. Left foot lands. Crouching warrior. Lift up. Right foot finds the back of the mat. Right knee bends, right heel drops. Left leg straightens, sit down and into it. Rise to stand. Bend your left knee, step it forward. Any way you choose, lean. Crouching warrior. Right knee to outside of left ankle. You sit. Drop down and in. Create the snuggle. Work the space. Breathe into your left side body. Try to lengthen your spine. Slowly return to center. Root into your left big toe and your right shin. Rise up through a big hurdle. So you plant into your left foot. You find your crouching warrior and you circle your right knee up and around a fire hydrant. Straighten your right leg out in front of you. Bend your left knee and then circle, sweep the right foot back through half moon. Try to work every angle of your left hip until eventually you step your right foot towards the edge of the mat, finding warrior two. Inhale, elevates you. Exhale, sinks you down and in. Find the depth. Engage your core. Holding this warrior two for just 2 breaths. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Hands to the floor. Let them land. Vinyasa with the double push-up. Pop. Pop. Knees and forearms drop. Inhale, pull through, upward facing dog. Exhale, cruise back. Downward facing dog. Feel a lift in your hips 10 count journey, feet to thumbs. Lift heels, bend knees. Go for it now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Maybe you want to toe tap and then go back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet land. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folds. Inhale, reach your hands up to the sky. Push your hips forward, open your heart. Reach through your hands, get a little bit longer. Exhale, cactus, the arms pull. Your elbows down. Bring elbows, hands to heart center. Inhale, open back up to the cactus. Feel the buoyancy across your chest. Reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, cactus, the arms pull your elbows down. Close the shutters, forearms, elbows, hands come together. Inhale, open up. Pull wide, broad across the heart. Reach your hands up towards the sky. Exhale, pull your elbows down. Close off. Dive to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Find length in your spine. Exhale, hands to the floor, vinyasa, double push-up. As you make it back to downward facing dog, bring big toes, inner ankles to touch. Slowly sit your knees towards the floor, but take 10 counts to get there. So you're stretching the big toes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees land, sit back to the heels. Deepest toes pose maybe of all time. Sit your hands in your lap as you roll shoulders onto back body. Front body is long. Deep inhale here. Audible exhale. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. Same length of breath. We're just going to cut the inhale into two count pieces and the exhale into 2 4-count pieces. So inhale, 1, 2, pause. Inhale, 1, 2, pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Inhale, 2, 1, pause. Inhale, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Last round. Inhale, 2, 1, pause. Inhale, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Deep inhale, stretch capacity, feel alive. Audible exhale, clear. Lean off the toes, come forward. Tap the feet as long and as much as you need to here. When you finish, sit back to the heels. Roll your shoulders onto your back body. Plant your hands behind your feet. Drive your shins down. Bridge your hips up. Sit back to your heels. Flying integration. Everything for a count of 5. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to elevate. The middle is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The right foot lifts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right foot down. The left foot lifts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The left foot's down. Hold the middle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. We played with this space the other day in vinyasa. We will play with it again here. Rise onto your shins. Circle camel 2 rounds back to back. Toes tucked or untucked. The journey is your own. Inhale, your right arm reaches up. Right hand finds right heel. Exhale, hold space. Inhale, left arm reaches up around. Make sure left arm is long. Let it land on left heel. Hold space. Next inhale, reach your right hand way back behind you. Exhale to close. Inhale, left arm reaches up and around. Find your left heel. Exhale, hold. Inhale, reach right arm up and around. Let it find a home. Exhale, hold. Inhale, left hand reaches back behind you. Exhale, close. Round 2. Inhale, right arm reaches up, around, holds. Inhale, left arm reaches up, around, holds. Inhale, right arm reaches overhead. Exhale, close. Inhale, left arm reaches up, around, holds. Inhale, right arm reaches up, around, hold. Inhale, left arm reaches back in space. Exhale, close. Sit back to your heels. Feel what's most likely a true balance to your posture. Notice how it's natural to let your ears lean a little bit further back in space. Head's a bit more level, chest a bit more lifted, body a bit more in tune. Lean forward, hands to floor, downward facing dog. As you find your down dog, I would recommend a shortened stance, but that's completely up to you. Look forward, lift heels, bend knees. Bottom of exhale, step or float, feet to thumbs. As you get there, drop your heels down, roll yourself up to stand. Rise onto your toes. Sit to your heels. Listen closely on this, it will be different than normal. Your knees will drop to the floor. Your right hand will reach behind you. Reach your left arm over and across. Return to center. Your left hand reaches over and behind you. Your right arm reaches across. Try to drive your hips up. Return to center. Lean forward, reach your hands up straight to the sky. Lift your chest. If your hands go back, great, but make sure your arms are straight and long. Exhale, pull your hands back to heart center. Sit to your heels, your knees lift. Your heels drop and you fold. Inhale, rise onto your toes, knees, triceps, knees, crow pose. Your journey back into downward facing dog. A nice option here is to straighten your legs and then your arms, and then sweep your feet up towards the sky. Again, it's quite an absurd option, but a fun one nonetheless. Double push-up if you want it, of course. And then mosey on back into downward facing dog. Adding on a bit here, but let that first rendition be a space you can come back to continuously. Look forward, lift heels, bend knees. Exhale, step or float feet to thumbs. Roll yourself up to stand. Rise to heels. Sit down onto them. This time, play right into a half circle. Right hand plants behind you. Drive your hips up. Open your heart. Sit back to your heels. Return to center. Left hand plays behind you. Drive your hips up. Open your heart. Return to center. Lower your knees down. Push your hips forward. Reach your hands up. Create fists like you're hanging on a pull-up bar. Exhale, push forward as you reach your hands behind you. Exhale, cactus the arms. Pull your hands to heart center as you sit back to the heels, knees lift. Drop heels to floor as you straighten and fold. Inhale, halfway lift as you rise onto toes, crow pose again. Find your groove. Find your down dog. Nice work, everybody. Let's really continue to be a full explorer of yourself in space. Regardless of the option, there's a spot for you to be in right now. Look forward. Lift heels, bend knees. Exhale, step or float. Feet to thumbs. Inhale, roll yourself up to stand. Rise to toes. Sit to heels. If you have full circle, go right into it. If not, play the half circle. Notice how the subtle difference of trying to stay on your toes changes the dynamic of the action. May not be as smooth as normal. You find center, get tall. Lower your knees to the floor. Push your hips forward, get tall, reach through your hands. Exhale, push your glutes forward, or put your hips forward, tuck your tailbone, reach your hands back in space. Get tall. Exhale, sit back to the heels, knees lift. Heels drop. Straighten your legs and fold. Inhale, halfway lift as you bend your knees. Set your hands up, crow pose. Crow pose. Keep working your space and your range. Last round here. Deep inhale, shorten your stance as needed. This time I want you to take your feet behind your wrists or even a little bit wider. It will help, but stay on your toes the whole time. Toes land, heels don't. Rise to stand. We played with this again in vinyasa, just a little bit of a different entry. Sit down to your heels. Designed to teach you the movement a little bit more. Option for the forearm drop, right hand plants. Push your hips forward. Reach your left arm back. Return to center. Left hand plants. Drop your left forearm. Push your hips up. Right hand reaches overhead. Return to center. You want to circle it. Feel free to circle it. You may want to widen your feet a touch just to help with the rotation. Sometimes these movements, they take a lot and they change our relationship with the space that we're digging into. So notice what it's like for you today. As you finish there, straighten your legs and fold. Straighten your legs and fold. Circle chair. Roll through your spine. Bring a good energy to wiggling around and breaking up stuck patterns of energy, especially when you just asked a lot of yourself, potentially in a completely new way. Change the pace up a little bit even. See what that feels like. As you finish, fold. Right foot to top of mat, left foot to back. Twisted lizard lunge. Use this as an opportunity to release tension. Kick to roll open through your right shoulder just a little bit more. Breathe into your left hip, into your left armpit. Exhale, release Skandasana to the back of the mat. Any way you want to take it, outer edge of foot down, rolling onto your right heel. Just try to make sure your left knee and your toes are pointing in the same direction. I always like to keep the left heel grounded. I think it's much more beneficial. See if you can work that space. Swing over to the top of the mat, Skandasana, same work. Again, knee and toes. Knee and toes. Return to center here. Wide leg forward fold. Pivot your heels in. Sit low, goddess pose, horse stance. Just really fight for knees and toes, same space. Chest, body elevated. Tilt your tailbone back. Stay active, strong, and long. Holding here, which is again the most physically challenging portion of this journey. Or lean in towards Basana, which again, while there's a skill level to it, it's easier than sitting in goddess pose for an extended 5 breaths. Find your TT. Find your liftoff, maybe. Hips are very open. As you finish, walk forward towards your front right foot and just sway in and out of half splits for a moment. Sway in and out of half splits for a moment. Feels as though this is just a moment to rest, a moment to breathe. Get into your right leg a little bit more. And then come forward, right knee deeply bent. Wiggle that big toe towards the top of the mat. Tuck your left big toe wherever it is. Lift your back knee. Rise up into your longest lunge. Sink into it. Yeah, we're taking it there. Push your left hip forward. Pull your right hip back. Trust yourself to be here because you can. You know this space. There's a level of familiarity with it. Fight the fight. Sink down and in. Only here for roughly 20 more seconds. It's not that long in the grand scheme of things. Try to have your hands free. Try to keep pushing your tailbone forward. That will really help your back left leg. And sink down and in. Last 15. Hold here, breathe into it. If you've been doing my beginner splits routine, this should be easy work for you at this point. So enjoy it. Last 3, 2, on 1. I want you to drop right down into your full splits. Wherever that is right now, it is going to be bigger than normal. Let it happen. Support yourself as needed. I know I never like to say like props are required for my classes, but having a block here is really, really nice. Bend your right knee slightly, pull yourself halfway forward, and then twist all the way around to the back of the mat, wiggling through your hips. Bend your left knee, drop your right knee down. Twisted lizard lunge. Second side. Big breath here. Find space and movement through your spine. Really roll your left shoulder onto your back body. Exhale, release. Right big toe tucks, Skandasana. Swing around into your right foot. Moseying across. And again, only real rules for this round. Right knee and toes point in the same direction. Try to control that. Adjust and modulate space as you need to. You can bounce around. You can support it with your hands. Just think inner arch of right foot is lifted. Knee and toes tracking to the same spot. Swing over to the left. Sink left knee over left big toe. Skandasana second side. Lift through the inner arch of your left foot. Try to find a little pull, a little dig. Return to center. Wide leg forward folds. Pivot your feet in a few times. Toes and knees pointing out. Sit your hips really low. Fingertips stay on the floor. Just bounce a few times here. See if you can open up some more of that space. And then your option, Titibhasana or wide leg forward fold. Of course, from wide leg forward fold, there's many inversions that are available for you. Two more breaths wherever you are. Walk your hands towards your back left foot, bending the knee. In and out of half splits a few times. Just giving yourself this little mental motivation before, I don't know, debatably the hardest pose of the practice, just kind of depending on how much effort you're going to throw into it. Because this pose that's coming up next is about nothing else. It's just a game of effort, a game of range, a game of growth. And sometimes you just got to climb up that wall. Not a lot of good grips, but it's just the nature of the game. Bend your left knee deep, left big toe out towards the back of the mat. Left knee well behind left ankle. Right toes tuck, right knee lifts. Let's get it. Rise up. Goodness gracious. Whole time think tuck the tailbone, push your right hip forward. Really try to get into it here. Try to sink in. Stay working the posture. Drive your right hip forward. Engage your core. Present mind, present body. Present mind, present body. Solid, stable focus. Keep coming back to your right foot pushing forward, right? So your right heel isn't going backwards. Your tailbone is tucking. Your right hip is moving towards the back of the mat or towards your left foot, however you're referencing the shape. Only 20 more seconds. We're in the home stretch. This is easy work. Try to keep those hands floating. This is all mental at this point. Stay strong in your mind. Stay connected to your space. And release. Congratulations, splits. Thank goodness. Use a block. Use a pillow, maybe use a blanket just to, wrap around your body for a moment of comfort. After that lunge, it's definitely no joke. It's like the slowest minute of your day. It's one of those things that always makes me realize how relative time is. Wiggle around with it. Last 2 breaths, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Pivot to the middle. Walk your hands towards your right shoulder. Your feet are wide, maybe as wide as the mat. You can hold here. This can be plenty. You can stay on your fingertips. Make sure your spine is long. Almost think up dog in your chest. That's going to help you get the proper hip position. Try to take your hips behind your ankles just a little bit. Good. Again, we've played with them a lot today, and this will be the last time for this work. If you want to do straddle stand up into Titibhasana, feel free. This is a wonderful space to play with it if it's of interest to you. Maybe it's not, so just, own your journey. Either way, this is a really nice passive stretch. It's a really nice active stretch. Work the space that feels good to you. Maybe you're just going to get that full Stalder going from the ground all the way up. Body is warm. Everything's available to you. Trust the space. You explore. Last 2 breaths here. Wonderful job. Wiggle your feet in closer. Rise up to stand. Step to the top of the mat. Circle chair. Oh, that's a free circle chair. All of a sudden those hips feeling a lot different, feeling a lot more, I guess is the way you could say it. No matter who you are, all of a sudden there's just a freedom to the wiggle of your spine, the shimmy of your hips, the opening of your front body. fold down to the floor. Inhale to halfway lift. Step back to plank pose. Push down into the palms. 10 count lower to the floor. 10, 9, engage your core, lead with your chest. 8, 7, long neck. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Lands. You've explored space in the spine already. Use your oscillating cobra the next 5 to create more. So you can go right, you can go left, you can go up the middle. Do what feels good. Inhale, lift, and lower on exhale. Inhale, lift, 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 lower on exhale. Locust pose. Inhale, rise. Reach your hands back. Stay fully engaged and committed to this locust for 5. We will stay lifted, but just stick with me here. 4, 3, 2, on 1. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Place your hands on the floor. Push down to lift up. Re-engage, and then try to hold this space. Lifting your palms off. Trying to lift a finger off. Just try to stay a little bit higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Let that go. Drop down. Take an ear to the floor. We do have one more round of this before bow pose. So remember, you're not trying to push to this height that's like unachievable, where there's nothing there for you. When you place your hands on the floor, think, let me get 5, 10, 15, 20% better, and then try to work there. Because so often when we're defying gravity, when we're lifting our locust, it's as if you're hitting a little wall. So you're using your hands, little personal assist, to up the ante slightly. Set yourself up for locust. Inhale, rise. Rise. Now notice you're already higher. You have more engagement. Squeeze through those shoulder blades. Hold this locust. You're starting 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands to floor. Push down, lift up. 10, 15, 20% better. Okay, and then try to take your hands off the ground, which you may not fully, like I need some fingertips on the ground here to keep the lift. I'm trying to keep the height. Stay engaged. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good grief. Let that go. Drop an ear to the floor. Be as you need. Bow pose. Or another round of locust. If you're tired, Sphinx is a wonderful option. Rise. Kick, lift, elevate, open up. Let it go. Have your chin on the floor. Just lay in the middle for a moment. Breathe up and down your spine. Let your breath walk the great wall of every vertebrae. The path. When you're ready, push back to child's pose. Let your hands reach forward as you sit the hips back, stretching underneath the armpits just a bit more. Dolphin, forearm balance, traditional headstand reintegration, classic expansion series. From all the work we've done, you will go upside down very easily. Be aware of it. as you jump, I'm just giving you that reminder because it was one I needed myself. We all need little reminders along the way. No matter how long you've been practicing, no matter how natural any of these positions are for you, the subtle reminder goes such a long way to opening everything up. And I'm not just talking about flexibility, I'm talking about awareness, consciousness, connection. We become blind to ourselves. Sometimes we need someone else to spot a habit, a behavior, a pattern for us to become conscious of it. That's okay. Be thankful, be appreciative, but also have your own frame, your own perspective. Trust in self. Sit back to the shins. Take 3 breaths upright. Close your eyes if you want. Deep inhale. Pause for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Deep inhale. Pause 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Long exhale. 2 more. Deep inhale. Really try to lift your spine here. It's as if you're back bending right now. Pause 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Long exhale. Deep inhale. Pause 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Long exhale. Blink the eyes open. Camel pose, symmetrical, 1 round, or dolphin forearm balance again, whatever feels best to you. Take yourself there now. Take yourself there now. Hero's pose, also a nice option, because all of these positions are very similar, just with the slight different application of gravity. Release. Normalize with your posture, with your breath, with your mindset. Find center in seat and gaze. And then without moving your nose, in fact, keep your nose locked in place. Take your eyes up, over to the right, down to the bottom, over to the left, back up to the sky. Trace the edges. 1 more time, right? Circling around, down, left, up. Going left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up. Blink your eyes, release. Really nice thing to just do anytime during the day. As you choose, find your way onto your back. Last front body opening of the day, just 1. Bridge your wheel. Don't make it more or less complicated. Set your hands, set your feet, and go. Let this be a posture of effort, just as our long lunges were earlier.
meaning you're just giving. You don't have to be searching for bigger or better or more. In fact, let those words evaporate, let them disappear. That's not the aim of this position right now. Let it go.
Open your arms out like a T, wiggle your feet wide, drop your knees middle. Let your spine ground completely. This should leave you in a slight posterior pelvic tilt, which should allow you to flatten out just a bit more. Feel the healing quality of support. Trusting yourself, trusting your path. Tuning in. You can take the rest of our work reclined, but I will sit up and speak to it from there, so be aware of that for your visual. Place your hands by your hips, reach your feet up towards the sky. Flex your toes towards your nose as you close at your hip angle. Slowly reach your feet up and overhead as if you're going towards plow pose. Let them touch the ground. And then pull your knees towards your chest, heels towards butt. Let that roll you up to seat. We'll start with Sukhasana, right shin in front, left shin behind. This can, of course, be double pigeon. Agni Stambhasana, it can, of course, be lotus pose. If you're not feeling external rotation for whatever reason today, some time in passive squat and supported Baddha Konasana is a nice place to go. So in the Baddha Konasana, you wouldn't be trying to get to full external. Just have the blocks or some pillows underneath to support more the movement through your hips, hinging forwards than anything else. You run 3 more breaths here. Each time in between switching poses, you have the option to integrate with a pickup, with an L-sit, with a vinyasa. But again, not a requirement at all. You can just switch sides. Moment for transition or extra breaths in the pose. Mean to move into that space. Again, really try to work a long, tall, upright position. Think sit bones back, lower back long, front hips closing towards femurs. And then whatever happens with your external rotation, just let it be. It's our last one of these today. Enjoy it. Two more breaths here. Your transition or more time in the posture till it feels good to you. Next position will be Gomakasana, right knee on top, left knee behind. Maybe you want to add the side bend here, one of my favorite places to go. I feel like this is a space where no matter what I do, I can just permanently guarantee I'm carrying a little tension. And so just to move through, just to breathe into, like in this moment, I'm really taking all of my breath into my left side body, letting that wrap around to my back just a bit. Return to center, option for more time in the pose or the transition. Left knee will be on top, right leg on bottom. Set it up a bit. Feel if you want to fold forward, might feel nice. But again, this side bend just speaks to my soul a little bit, so I'm always such an advocate for it. Three to four more breaths here. Time for transition or extra space in the pose. The next place we'll meet is frog. If you have a blanket handy, you can take it underneath one or both knees. Really see where you can snuggle your hips back a bit. And if you're taking this reclined, feet up the wall, such a wonderful space to be. You can really find a release. If you're on the passive path in this moment, stay where you are. If you're in the active path, set up for Ekahasta Mayurasana. Place your hands down on the floor. Step your feet back, wide plank. Feet walk left, bend elbow, lift up. Having one hand down, or both hands down, is a really nice place to begin. Don't feel that you need to have the hand lifted. In fact, rushing that lift, switch sides when you choose, can actually throw you off learning the balance. Play both hands down until the opposite hand, the non-body-bearing hand, just feels light. And when you release, if you're in the active path, sit back to the heels. If you're in the passive path, stay where you are for just 2 more breaths. We'll return to our Marichyasana. It's one of our last active spaces for our practice today. Easy twist if you're in the passive path. Easy twist. Marichi, have right foot step to outside of left leg, left shin, left glute on the floor. Again, we've been here before. You've been snuggling the space. You can twist deeper into it. We've played with this before, and I'll give it as the option here. Side crow, arm balance. Option to take it to the QDR if you choose. When you're ready, switch your side. Setting things up. Snuggling in. And then if you want the arm balance, take it. Do your thing. Last 2 breaths. If you're in the active path, symmetrical inversion, or plow pose, or both. If you're in the passive path, right into plow pose. Reach your feet up and overhead. Find a moment for closure before we do our last hamstring release of the day. And then keep your tailbone tucked as you slowly roll your spine back to the floor. Squeeze your heels towards your butt. Engage your core. Bring your hands onto your hips. This doesn't have to be the biggest engagement. If you've been on the active path, it can be. Drive your heels into the floor. Push your tailbone up to the sky. So as you're going to bridge, feel your glutes active, turned on. Your hips don't have to be high. We're not back bending. Sit your hips back down to the floor. Pull your knees into your chest. Tuck your tailbone. Squeeze heels to butt. Again, the level of engagement is completely up to you. Lower feet to floor. On your exhale, push your hips up. Glutes turned on. Knees stretching forward. Ribs pulling down. Release. Right knee into chest. Left leg long. Back body is active and alive. Inhale into your right hip. Exhale, keep bringing your right knee up higher. But your test for this moment, for this space, is your lower back. So at any time, you should be able to slide a hand underneath your lower back. The natural curves of your spine exist. Interlace hands behind your right hamstring. Flex your right foot. Right toes kick up towards the sky. Right leg straightens in some capacity. Heel to butt. Right leg straightens. Heel to butt. Right knee comes in every time you close the distance. Straighten your right leg. Heel to butt. Right leg straightens. 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 This is the one that will hold. If it's natural for you to catch the big toe, take your right leg further overhead. Let that happen now. But focus. Your lower back is lifted. You should feel the closing angle. Let it go. Shake your right leg out. Right leg's long, left knee's into chest. Move it around a few times again. Feel your pelvic tilt, and then feel the natural curves of your spine. If you're wondering what that is, by pulling your knee into your chest, you should feel that pelvic tilt, tailbone tucking under. Feel your low back pressing down. Notice what that feels like. That's what we want to avoid. Interlace your hands behind your left hamstring. Remember, you want your left knee to be chasing your shoulder the whole time. Left foot flexes. Left leg straightens up to sky. Heel to butt, knee to chest. Left leg straightens. Heel to butt, knee to chest. Left leg straightens. Heel to butt, knee to chest. Left leg straightens. Heel to butt, knee to chest. Left leg straightens. Heel to butt, knee to chest. Left leg straightens. Heel to butt, knee to chest. Left leg straightens. Heel to butt, knee to chest. Left leg straightens. Heel to butt, knee to chest. Left leg straightens. This is the one we hold. If you want to catch the big toe, that's part of your game. Take your foot further overhead. Feel free. Try to keep the natural curves of your spine. Try to work the end range. Sit in it. Here for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Wiggle out your left leg for a moment. Bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Feel the ability now to let everything go. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Let these begin to flow. Feel the wave-like quality to your breath, the wandering ocean. Think less about ujjayi though, that's why I was hesitant on the cue, and more about rhythm, more about filling space and emptying space. Maybe you imagine that your rib cage, your belly, it's a cove. The waves flow in and out of the cove. They fill the cove. And then the cove is, available. You can walk through it. And then the waves come back in, they fill it. And then space opens. So there's a rhythm to the breath entering, holding space, leaving, holding space, entering, filling space, clearing, opening space. Use your imagination to create the environment that speaks to your mindset, that lets you move into an easier state of being, that lets you embody something unique. Let your mind open up to the details of the space you're creating. What color, if it is the cove, is the sand? Are there rocks? Maybe little crabs scurrying about? Is it a cove you could swim in? Is it a path that you're walking through? Is it a sunny day or is it cloudy? Is there a light drizzle? Can you see or even feel the weather, the climate? And of course, your mind is creating the scene, but you're also witnessing the scene. In this space, it's not about right or wrong, it's just about being. Lean into a longer exhale. Let the tides be lower. Lean into a complete inhale. Let the body be full. As you sit and observe this space and time, while you're creating an environment in your mind, your breath softly keeps you attached and present to the moment. And it keeps you in some way, shape, or form here. You sit in the space between being awake and asleep. And it's a very fertile space for your mind, a space where many things can grow, a space where your imagination can flourish, a space without need for a result or even a request. There's a lot of freedom in that. There's an open-ended availability to the action of it all. Let your mind, let your imagination lead. Let your heart and mind follow. Observe. Experience. Eventually, the breath becomes second nature, just as it always is, allowing you to drift into a state of deeper consciousness, a state of deeper self. In this space, repeat the soft and simple mantra, I am. It doesn't have to be frequent, and no words have to follow it. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But the simplicity of I am, the simplicity of those three letters, giving you personal ownership, responsibility, trust, faith, connection, conversation with you. Let these moments of true self-awareness lead you into a space of empathy that starts from within, but that branches out to all. A sense of kindness, compassion, and consideration. For not only your life, but the lives of others. Take these moments to feel full. Take these moments to feel ease. And also take these moments to feel nothing at all. When a space is empty, there's so much room for growth and potential. And sometimes a clean slate is really all we need to return to ourselves and to begin again. And the beauty of it is so often It's just a mindset. We should have to give ourselves the clean slate. Give ourselves the chance to begin again, to start fresh, to return. I'll leave you here in this moment to stay for as long as you need to. To find what you need to. Be grateful to yourself for making it to this point in the journey. Be grateful to yourself for having the willpower and the capacity to show up. You are appreciated here. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being part of our community here at Commune. I look forward to practicing with you again very soon. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Peace.